parents or Reddit, what do your kids think they're being all slick and sneaky about? But you know all about it? I thought I was so sneaky in high school. I would come home at curfew, run the water in the bathroom a bit, flush the toilet, and then turn my radio on low. I slept with it on, and then sneak out my bedroom window. My bedroom faced the front of the house and was on the ground floor. I did this so much that my window screen wouldn't fit properly and kept falling off. Every time it fell off I told my parents that the wind must have ripped it off during the night. Mom bought my story. When I was in my 30s my dad told me he used to get up and watch me from the front window as I ran down the street and got back into my friend's car. When I asked him why he never busted me, he said you were an average student and you never got brought home by the cops. If you had been, you would have been grounded until you were 35. I'm so not sneaky. I did the same thing, and my parents always knew. My bedroom was in the basement, so I would have to crawl through the basement window and drop down to the floor. Apparently I never realized that I was leaving muddy footprints down the wall because I'm an absolute moron. In high school, my girlfriend's middle school aged brother would walk to the bathroom next to the living room where the rest of us were and sniffle and announce, "Oh man, my nose is really runny today," and grab some tissues to take to his room. Everyone knew he was going back to his room to beat off. If he would just go to the bathroom and put some in his pocket nobody would have a clue. For a moment there I legit thought this was about C. I'm a parent but my kiddo hasn't tried to be really sneaky yet, so I'll share my own misguided shenanigans. I'm a twin, identical except for a scar on my lip. According to my grandmother I would often try to claim my sister's snack after finishing my own by cleverly covering my mouth with my hand and asking for my snack. Flawless plan, except when my grandmother would tell me I'd already had my snack I'd reply, "I'm not me, I'm my sister." If you think your kid isn't sneaky, then he is really sneaky. I thought I was being sneaky when I took off my brace to correct my underbite every night because it was hard to sleep with. Then I woke up one morning and saw that the brace was gone. That was a bad morning for me, but it taught me that I wasn't half as clever as I thought I was. Getting snacks they aren't supposed to have. They grab them and go hide to not be caught. My wife and I use this to our advantage. We accidentally leave snacks out for them to get so they leave us alone for a while. This is the most win-win situation I've ever heard of. Amazing. When my son is trying to play with something that he knows isn't a toy, he'll say, "What do you have there?" And he'll go, "No," and throw whatever it is far away. If it's not in his hands, I obviously can't get onto him for playing with it. He's 3 so that's as sneaky as he gets. My kids just finished a week of ninja themed day camp and I guess part of it involved learning how to set small booby traps because I saw my older son, 8, head upstairs with a step stool. His dad said, "What do you need, kiddo?" "What's the step stool for?" "Oh, nothing." 5 minutes later I walked upstairs to use the bathroom and saw him carefully positioning a stuffed animal on top of the slightly ajar door to the master bedroom. I studiously ignored it. I'm getting a Calvin and Hobbes vibe from this, with Hobbes perched on top of the door ready to attack you. My adult son recently admitted that all those headaches he had in middle school weren't really headaches. He just had a lot of issues with school and didn't want to go. He apologized for lying. I asked if he ever noticed that I always let him stay home and often took us out to lunch when he miraculously felt better after the bus left. As long as he kept his grades at a tolerable level, I knew what he needed was a mental health day, not a sick day. I did take him to the doctor to rule out anything serious, but when it became apparent that his problem was likely stress, I just tried to distress his life as much as I could and find non-school things he could do to make friends. ETA, thank you for the silver. I appreciate it. And gold. Wow, thanks. Gonna go relax in the lounge. You're a good mom. Not my child, but I'm doing teacher assistant jobs while getting my degree to be a teacher. Anyway, one of my students was a little girl who really liked bugs. We were outside and she kept carrying something around. It was a handful of worms. I asked her what she was doing and she asked to keep them as a pet. So, I have to tell her we can't and she gets upset. Stomps over to her bench and sits down, arms crossed and pouting. Around time to come back inside. I'm lining everyone up and she's beaming, happy as a clam. She also won't take her hand out of her pocket. So, I immediately realized she pocketed the worms. After another talk, she finally put them back and stomped inside. Fairly disgruntled. LOL. I was obsessed with catching grasshoppers in kindergarten. I managed to slip many grasshoppers by my teacher to put in my pencil box and keep in my desk all day, which is surprising considering how often I got caught. Surprised she didn't make me empty my pockets and check my desk every time I came in from recess. I'll share this anyways. When I was in high school I used to sneak out. Shocker, I know. My room was right next to my parents and I guess they could always hear the hardwood floor creaking and then the window sliding up. Well, one night I had snuck out and then the next day my girlfriend had came over for dinner and my mom looks at us and says, "So where did y'all go last night?" My parents thought they were sneaky. When I would go out at night they would turn my light on and leave their door open. That way they didn't even have to get out of bed. Just look down the hall to see if my light was still on. In my 30s I finally broke it to them that I would sneak in before curfew, turn off the light, then go back out. They were actually surprised. Playing whack-a-mole. Dude, no one takes that many showers every day. You're killing me with the water bill, man. Hopefully my son reads this. I remember my parents mentioning a few times things about me taking really long showers. Looking back they probably thought I was masturbating in there and they were making jokes about it. Honestly, I just liked really long hot showers. I didn't know this at the time but my mom loved sitting on the front porch late at night and just enjoy the sounds and smells. She has a beautiful garden. I didn't realize every night when I would pop the screen off my window and hang out of it to smoke a joint she could see me and smell it. Never said anything till I was in my mid-20s. She was into your stash, bro. Not a parent, but I'm working in a kindergarten this summer as a kindergarten teacher. One of my students, 5 years old, carries with him this picture his 7-year-old brother drew. He keeps hiding it in his pocket and keeps looking at it when we don't see. Like he goes to the toilet and while he is pooping he takes the pic out of his pocket, looks at it and puts it back. When we have naps, he hides it under his pillow and looks at it when we don't see. This is the first time his big brother is not in the kindergarten with him, because he is at the preschool. We had a substitute yesterday and she yelled at him, "Hey, what are you hiding?" I quickly stepped in and told her not to address it. They don't have the most stable home life, so that might be why he is so attached to his brother. AWW. I used to carry around a pic of me and my little sister in a wallet our mom gave me in middle school. My home life sucked. I only saw my mom every other holiday and during the summer, and my sister was my best friend. Some butthole stole the wallet in the 8th grade. I found my aid crumpled up on the ground later, but all I wanted was that picture back. My older son is obsessed with watching funny YouTube videos on his tablet. He thinks he's being slick when he sneaks it and a pair of headphones upstairs at night, but his laugh is so loud it could wake the dead. I did this with the big, old book of classic Peanuts comics. Mom always knew when I was reading it in bed. My son's bedroom recently moved to the basement of our small, 2-story house. He thinks he's being sneaky by watching the television down there late at night or when he wakes up to go to the bathroom. Even turns it down really low and crap. What he doesn't realize is that there's a vent right above the TV, which my room is directly above and the connecting vent is right next to my bed. It's waken me up from a dead sleep twice now and even with the sound down like he has it, it kind of echoes. I thought about confronting him but his summer just started and he's worked hard to improve his grades this year. At 10.5, if that's the worst thing he's doing I'll let it slide. Concoct a reason for him to figure this out on his own before puberty hits. Not me, but my mom told me she knew about me hiding my DS under the pillow but she was too stressed about her work to bother trying to stop me. She's a primary school teacher and divorced. Whenever my mom realized I'd hide it under my pillow I'd slide it under the bed. Worked well until I left it plugged in one time. My son is making a book for his mom to tell her how much he loves her. He's still pretty young and just learning to read and write. So slowly, like, over the course of the last few weeks, he'll bring a book up to an adult and ask them to help him read and then ask randomly, "Is the word amazing on this page?" Where? Oh, can you help me find a story where they have that word? Oh great, is that the word I'm pointing to? Then he disappears for a few minutes. Then the cycle will start again with another word. Slowly he's writing a book for her. one word at a time. I know because I followed him one time recent and saw he was writing something in a book, then happened to check it out when he was asleep. So now I know his secret. He was up to about 2 pages and it's really sweet. I don't know how much longer until he'll deem it finished, but I'm sure I'm the only adult who knows what's up. My son is only 2.5 and he thinks that I don't see him throwing crap behind him and doing a fake crunch sound when he eats. My son's 2 and his paramount of being sneaky is that when I tell him no he slowly grabs a blanket, lays on the floor and snores with his eyes open looking at me. I have 3 kids 7 years 3 years. They sneak out of fire room late at night trying to get snacks. They never see me standing in the darkness. I've made it my personal mission to sound like a huge booming man and yell at them to get to fire rooms. I've never seen them run so fast. I'm the mom. All I can think of is the scene in Infinity War where Drax is standing incredibly still. Not the answer you're looking for, but on the contrary, I'm almost certain my parents know I smoke weed. I tried to hide it at first, but one afternoon I was bored and decided to do some edibles. Went upstairs and tried my best to hide the fact that I was high. Mom didn't say anything but she did make me a plate of nachos. I'd pretend to be baked if my mom would make me nachos. Your mom rocks. My 8-year-old can eat some kind of junk food after he eats vegetables and a protein. When it's something he doesn't like very much, like green beans, he eats slow. A couple of days ago, he ate them in a matter of minutes and asked for a cupcake. He dumped the green beans in the trash and covered with a paper plate. There used to be a ledge under my mom's kitchen table. I used to spit my food out in a napkin when no one was looking and put it there. Later on I would clean it out when everyone was not in the kitchen. One night I forgot about it and the next day my little brother was playing under the table and saw my stash. He ratted me out to mom and I was grounded. Toddler is red-faced in a squatting position. Me. Hey buddy, do you need to poop? Son. Grunting. Nope. 2 minutes later. Me. You stink. Did you poop? Son. Running away with visible lump in his diaper. Nope. This is me trying to currently potty train my 2-year-old daughter. Occasionally, I'll get lucky and she'll actually tell me poo poo, mommy, after she already pooped though. Thanks kid. That's really helpful. I was a child. When I was about 12 I was softly beating my meat in a caravan thinking my parents were asleep and none the wiser. Obviously I was working my way up and not realizing how fast I was jerking it when my dad shouts out stop shaking the caravan, absolutely mortified. I had a similar experience. I kept complaining loudly every time the caravan shook knowing full well that my parents were trying to frick basically next to me. I was the sneaky kid. When I was around 8 I wanted to get glasses to look cool. I came up as a nerd since childhood. The problem is that I had perfect vision. So I faked a bad vision and would constantly complain of headaches and that I couldn't see what the teacher would write in the blackboard. All fake. My mother took me to an ophthalmologist and they got me fake glasses. Without any diopters and all my problems were gone. Until this day I have no idea how they knew. I thought I was doing great on my deception. Of course I did not like to actually use the glasses and I dropped them eventually, claiming that I was miraculously cured. Actually have a similar story with a worse ending. I was younger, my sister got glasses. I was jealous and wanted glasses too, so I pretended not to be able to see. It turned out my eyesight actually was worse than hers and I needed glasses more than she did. Caught my son hollowed out a cucumber at the kitchen sink middle of the night. He told me he need to do an experiment using hollowed out cucumber, a wire, battery and a small light bulb. I knew he's making a bong. When I read the first sentence I thought you were going to say he was fricking the cucumber or some crap like that. Not as exciting because he is a toddler, but my son wants snacks he can't have, so he knocks over the box and says oh no I have to clean them up, then starts putting the scattered snack packs back into the box but slides one under him in the process. He then puts the box in the cabinet while one arm is behind his back with the extra bag of cookies. 3-year-olds are wild. Or the slow side shuffle to their room. As a kid I loved drawing floor plans for houses. I was super embarrassed about it and had a secret notebook that my parents were forbidden from looking in. Turns out they knew I was drawing floor plans all along. My so has a 14-year-old brother and he doesn't know that myself. My so and his mother have all seen his Discord chats. We didn't mean to. He forgot to log out one day on the family computer. Anyway, he thought he was some sort of meme lord until he accidentally sent a girl a Pornhub Shrek meme. Which is funny to me because he's super shy and quiet. I roll. Staying up late. I know both my kids stay up pretty late playing on their phones. But since they both get decent grades and don't have problems waking up in the morning, I jaff. Man, I wish my mom was this way. I held the fridge door open for my son, 3-year-old, so he could pick a yogurt. He tiptoes right in front of me and sneakily takes one, all the while saying I'm the sneakiest kid in the world. Dang, that is sneaky. Not me, but when I got my dad's old iPad when he got a new one, I used to play games on it when I was supposed to be sleeping. I thought I was being super sneaky, having it on the lowest brightness level and no sound and making sure I didn't make any sounds myself. He suddenly bursts into my room and commands me to go to sleep. I honestly thought my dad was a psychic at that moment and I have no idea how he figured out I was awake and playing games. Scared the heck out of me too. Probably could see that you connected to the router through the app for it, or something similar. Not the parent, but my little brother watches YouTube on the PS4, which pisses me off to no end. What he doesn't know is that the YT account logged into there is mine, so I can check his watch history from my phone and see what kinda stuff he's watching. He's recently started getting into quite. It annoys me that my brother watches YouTube on the PS4 is because we share the PS4, so when it's his turn, instead of playing games, he watches YouTube, which he could do on the computer. You should comment on videos you know he'll watch, so when he scrolls down the first comment is from him. Teenager made up a secret written code with his best friend. So sure was he about their cleverness. They left their notes all over the house, including on my computer desk. It was a straight letter to symbol system. Took me about 30 minutes to figure it out, and now I know all their secrets. Discussions of fricking, drugs, drinking, crushes, parties, teachers, and parents. One of the correspondence pages was them laughing about how no one would ever be able to read what they wrote. I just can't bear to break his heart. So of course I can't tell him I cracked it, and that it was really easy. My best friend and I used to flip the alphabet so A was Z and Z was A. It took a few minutes to decode each sentence, but we made a keel mayo. Eating in her room. We still find little wrappers and stuff behind the bed, in the closet, or an empty bowl she had something in. Hoarding dum-dums under the bed. They are 5 and 3 and whenever they pull over the top chore duty they get a dum-dum. Sometimes the wrapper comes off instantly and they revel in the glory of the moment. The others, as discovered while cleaning their rooms, go into neat piles underneath the 5-year-old's bed. He has his and she has hers, and I have no clue if they are sugar preppers, working some kind of preschool black market, or just looking for a quick fix at nap time. But those little suckers are up to something. Honestly, a good sign. Kids who can delay gratification like saving candy apparently have an easier time delaying gratification as adults. Saving money, avoiding addiction, etc. There was a study on it, but it's a nice thought whether it's 100% true or not, lol. I have a small pot of strawberries. As soon as one pops up, my 4-year-old gets excited and asks if it's ready to eat. I tell her to wait until I tell her it's ripe. Invariably, she sneaks the berry as soon as it's red, but not quite sweet enough, and tells me the chickmunks must have eaten it. When I was 17, I thought I was really sneaky coming home from smoking weed with my boyfriend and friends. My parents are old, they totally won't know. They were early 40s. Until I come home late every night, go straight to my bedroom and only come out to make some strange snack concoction. My favorite was the cookie dough and fudge sandwiches together. Our living room and kitchen were kinda like one big room, so they had to try and not pee themselves as I snuck from my room to the kitchen, all while they watched, and stood in the kitchen eating snacks, and then creeping back to bed to sleep. I actually thought I was sneaky as frick as well. For some extra fun, I'm 24 now and I've smoked weed with my dad and laughed about this. I also thought I was super sneaky after coming home from a smoke session with my friends. Looking back, I'll come home with half closed eyes and a permanent smirk, but I always thought I was still slick. Until just a few days ago when I realized, yeah, my clothes and hair probably stink like weed. They know for sure. Not my kid, but a roommate's. Years ago, whenever you caught him doing something bad, even if you just walked into the same room, he'd throw up his hands and yell, nothing, like, before you could even say anything, just, nothing. I have no kids, but when I was about 4, I was a pretty rambunctious kid, really loud and high energy. The day after Easter just before lunchtime I was unusually quiet in another room. My mom was wondering why I wasn't my usual loud self and called out where I was. I said nothing. When she came to see what I was doing, she found me with a face full of chocolate playing with my Barbie doll. She asked me if I ate any of the chocolate from yesterday and apparently I said no, I'm not a thief, not realizing the evidence all over my face. I thought I was so slick, lol. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.